everyone, it's Friday night live from Massachusetts. It's Friday Night Live. How y'all doing? I want everyone to know that we're going to be fine. Today is Friday, September 19th, 2025. We're on the brink of a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. We're on the brink of the fall equinox, which is the next day. We are in a high vibe energy. Does anybody feel it? Let me tell you something. If you take your noggin off the news, you'll feel it. You'll feel the high vibe. So, what y'all drinking? It's Friday. I'm cracking a cold one. I think summer has returned. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I guess so, because Mary just said water. I'm having an athletic brew. I'm telling you, Darren's saying, Lori, the way of positive change agrees with me. If you take your head out of the news for a few moments, you'll feel the high vibe. And you might hear loud motorcycles too. Out of control. It's a convoy. It's a convoy of Hollies. Anyway, I have the door open because it's like summer out. Michael can hear me okay, even over the motorcycles? I think there should be a noise ordinance in my neighborhood, but anyway. Where shall we begin? Okay. Even though we can't believe that they've taken Jimmy Kimmel off the air, I think it was immediately, for really no reason except that he's a comedian who does political comedy, which has always been a thing in the United States. Actually, it's always been a thing in the United States. Don't think for 1 second that our founding fathers and the revolutionary soldiers, don't think for 1 second they didn't sit at the local tavern having a few pints, mocking King George. Right? Am I right? We have grown up with political comedy. It's a thing. In democratic societies, it's a thing. So hint, hint, hint. Remember he said he was going to be a dictator on day one? And all his crazy cult members, I'm sorry, I just had to say it. Because being in a cult makes you crazy. You might not start that way, but you end up that way because you let somebody hijack your brain and think all kinds of things that are ridiculous and don't make any sense. He got them to applaud when he said he was going to be a dictator on day one. Yeah. He also got them all to applaud and cheer when he said, Viktor Orban, have you all ever heard of Viktor Orban? He's a strong leader. He also got them to applaud when he would say that President G, he rules with an iron fist. And how about this one? I get along great with Kim Jong-un. We write love letters to one another. Love letters. Maybe he's gay. I get along great with Putin. Hitler did a lot of good things too, didn't he? I'm quoting him. And people applauded. The MAGAs applauded when he out and out said his dream, basically, that he be a dictator on day one. That's how lost they are. That's pretty lost. And I'm sure we all remember when he was out there at his countless rallies. And he'd say, I love this group. I love the blacks. I love the, I don't think he ever saw immigrants, said immigrants, but I love the workers. I love the unions. Yeah, right. I love this. I love that. I love this. I love that. I love the uneducated. Of course he loved the uneducated. Because the less educated that a person is, not in all cases, but the less critical thinking skills they have. Which is why they've taken away, for all intents and purposes, they've taken away education. Thank you, Warren, for putting my info up. Saw today that Colbert is teaming up with Jasmine Crockett. So now the MAGAs are seeing what they signed up for. He loves the uneducated. So the whole, back to the Jimmy Kimmel thing. If you tell somebody they can't speak their mind, guess what happens? They want to speak their mind more, right? Isn't that true? It's true for me. Is it true for you? Yeah, and then today he cuts down. I can't even believe he was allowed to have, this is how stupid he is and how much he wants to stick it to the American people. Was it one or two trees in front of the White House that had been there for more than 200 years, that had been there one, I think there were two, right? Maybe more, but I'm like, I when it comes to cutting down trees, I mean, I feel like I can hear trees scream. That was there when John Adams was president. It's Zircon funny. Don't tell me to calm down, right? Let me read you something. And then we'll get into it. We'll get really into it. We'll do a deep dive. Also, I want to say that it came to me today. It came to me today to share this with you. It's a little bit of a suggestion. If you're not enjoying your life, if your life other than this orange menace is pretty good, if things are pretty good, if you can actually get into the moment and feel good, right? Which is really powerful on the energetic collective level. If you just can just get into the moment and feel good, you'll recognize that all the anguish that we have all been in, all the depression and the rage and the anguish that we have been in, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it is based on us putting our thoughts onto how bad it will be. So we're ruining our present moment. The present moment is the key to the future. We're ruining all our present moment awareness by projecting into the future how bad it's going to be. We have to stop doing that. Promise me you will. Yeah, I've talked about it. Trump hates anything that makes people enlightened, feel, intelligent, educated. This is a true dictator. That's what they do. 200-year-old tree. I don't know why there was no historic protection for that tree. Trees should have rights. Okay, so am I right just about that whole topic? Because I noticed it today. I noticed today, it's a beautiful day in Massachusetts. Gorgeous. In the Northeast, we're in a drought, but it's gorgeous, right? So I noticed it today. It's like everything's good. I have everything that I need. I don't have that much extra, but I have everything that I need. It's fine. My future can be really bright, right? My future can be really bright if I think about it that way. Now, when we look at what happened to Jimmy Kimmel and we look at what happened to Stephen Colbert, his show's getting canceled, I want you to look at the other side of that coin. Stephen Colbert is hugely popular. He's way more popular than he was prior to being told his contract is ending. I kind of have a feeling that his show will be dropped before next May. Colbert. Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, I'm sure it's really upsetting. I saw Midas Touch invited Jimmy Kimmel to be on Midas, to be part of Midas Touch, right? Today I saw, just as a side note about what else is going on, today I saw that there were a large group of people, I don't know how many hundreds, that took a trek that walked from Philly to DC. Did you hear about that on the mainstream media? Because Jessica Denson covered that. And there's a rally in DC. These people walked from Philly to Washington, D.C. They ended up in front of the Capitol today where they were having a rally. They cheered him in. It was like a road race. Yay, you made it. Along the way, they stopped in various communities and people fed them and they had picnics and they camped or they got invited to sleep at somebody's house to continue their journey, right? So what's happening is, yeah, you didn't hear. Well, check out Jessica Denson's channel because the mainstream media will not cover this, right? We're witnessing history. That's so true, Deb. So what's happening is people are learning to get to know their communities. People are joining together. What did I say a few nights ago? And I posted a video of a woman, I forget her name, but I did repost it. How to fight fascism. You form community. In my community this weekend on Sunday, there's a rally. I might go play my song at it. We've got to come together. I might go play that. I'm going to figure that out. Before Church of Spirituality on Sunday. So there's a big rally here. There's going to be representatives here speaking. It's going to be a beautiful day. How many people, we don't know the number, but since Disney did that to Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sure Walt Disney is rolling over in his grave. He had his body frozen, wherever they have him. I don't know how many. I wish I had the number. People dropped all of their, I'm going to read you a list. And what was kind of cool about this list was I'm not subscribed to any of these big conglomerate corporate organizations. Well, pissed off Rita. This is E. Jean Carroll, and I'm going to talk about what she's proposing. We all know E. Jean Carroll. Okay. You can boycott Disney, ABC, Hulu, FX, ESPN, A&E, Lifetime, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, 20th Century Studios, Searchlight Pictures, Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Resorts, Disney Parks, and Disney Cruises. You can cease reading Marvel comics and take to the streets. You can make signs, march, strike, phone bank, banner hang, and/or you can consider E. Jean Carroll's modest proposal. I'm going to get to that now. Subscribe to E. Jean Carroll's newsletter. I think this is Substack. MAGA has their red hats, right? They recognize one another. They signal one another with their support for the president and his crackdown. How can we show our resistance to the president? What have we got? We got nothing. So I suggest we get something, baby. Here's what we do. Something that holds things together, something that holds us together, something that says we're not shutting up, something that also picks locks, something that also opens handcuffs, something that also, when you straighten it out, is a weapon, something that was worn in World War II as a sign of resistance to Nazi occupation, something that you have right in your desk drawer right now. And E. Jean Carroll says, I suggest we all start wearing the paper clip. Subtler than a red hat, more powerful as connection. Paper clips come in all colors: fuchsia, pea green, dandelion, crimson. Paper clips come in all sizes: big, small, tiny, giant. Paper clips, according to the philosopher Nick Bostrom, will take over the world, then the universe. If paper clips worked against the Nazis in World War II, paper clips will work against the man in the Sandra D. hair. Clip one to your collar, the strap of your bag, your jacket cuff, your pants cuffs, the leash of your dog. I made a little chain with paper clips. String them together in a necklace. Pass them out to friends and neighbors. It's a form of adventure and resistance that we in the country all seem to need right now. And E. Jean Carroll says, me, I've been wearing the paper clip for weeks. I wore a paper clip on the train. I handed paper clips out at Telluride. Not long ago, I gave one to Gloria Steinem. When Jimmy Kimmel is silenced, we're not watching TV, we're watching the end of free speech. But you and I are not powerless. You and I have toppled a lot of rules and limitations in our time, and now we have a weapon so small, so ordinary, it hides in the lint in the back of our junk drawers. Run. Put yours on. One paper clip is nothing. A million paper clips is a mutiny. Let's do it. Clip it. Pass it. I know that was long, but we got to have something. So let it be the paper clip. Straight from E. Jean Carroll, the only person to sue Dumpy for as much as she has and won. I don't know if she'll ever get the money, but we can look at that. All right. Oh, thank you, Linda. I appreciate you, the endorsement. We just got off the phone. She just got to read, and I really appreciate that. Thanks. Let's look at some cards. Now, I'm not saying that we're not going to have our challenges, but I feel better knowing that more people are in the game now. More people are in the game now. Paper clips. Paper clips. And you know what? I opened my drawer and I had a little container with paper clips. I have more, right? Mine are gold. I'm going to get a bunch more. And E. Jean Carroll wants us to take pictures of us with our paper clips and send them to her. So subscribe to her Substack. E. Jean Carroll. I'm pulling 3 cards about Dumpy. Now, the thing about Dumpy is he's so weakened that he's like a caged animal and he has to lash out, and that's what's dangerous. Yeah, we might have to stop talking about the trees because I'm very, very, very upset about the trees. How's Dumpy doing? Highly emotional, stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, there comes a time when you can destroy everything around you and still not be at peace. Still have it not. I'm talking about Dumpy. You can just direct everybody and boss everybody and shut down everybody and be an asshole to everybody, right? And still not be satisfied. And that's where his energy is. He's in a highly emotional time. I do pick up being with Melania. That was Melania. I checked the pendulum. Being with Melania was kind of a downer for him. Because of course she doesn't want to be with him. Right? Oh, hit the thumbs up so we can do a group hug. Trying to get you to see my sign over there. and the Nine of Cups. So I'm reading on Dumpy, and what I get is with the Nine of Cups, I get that it's just there's too many. I really do feel like he has dementia pretty bad. And the Moon card is a very emotional, really stuck. Two of Swords is a really stuck card. And the Nine of Cups is, he's just kind of swimming in it. Yeah. Darren, who do you want to be nominated? What are you guys talking about? We got a dad joke. Why did the farmer have to separate the chicken and the turkey? He sensed foul play going on. But bum. I should have 1 million followers. We have so much fun. They just don't know. You're in the special club. You all are in the special club. Please hit the thumbs up. Thank you for being here. I've decided I'm just going to say a few things about downloads that I've been getting. I'm going to just figure out some kind of a code. There's a reason. I'll just drop this and you can ponder it. There's a reason why they've chosen to go after anybody who talks about the person on their side that was assassinated. There's a reason why they're trying to forbid anyone from mentioning his name or talking about it. And it's not what they keep. I don't even know what reason they're given that you can't say something like Charlie was a conservative or you know, I don't really know what the reason is that they're giving. But I have a pretty good idea of what I'm getting in a download. So let's just pick 3 cards about how it's going to go for this regime. Are you talking about Dumpy's hunch? Dumpy has a serious hunch. We'll get to that. So I'm going to pull 3 cards on how this is going to go for them to make it kind of criminal to say anything about the victim of that assassination was it just last week? Yeah, a week and a half ago. It seems like so much has happened since then. And now they're having a Kirk Day and they're having a big memorial at a football stadium. They're really trying to distract everyone. I know, Warren, doesn't it seem like forever ago that assassination happened? So, okay. So the question that I'm asking is why they're doing that, why they're making it taboo to talk about the person who was assassinated. Yeah, and just as far as what he used to talk about, CK used to talk about, I've mentioned it here, the last thing that I heard him say, I think it was the night before, it must have been September 9th. I saw a clip of him talking to Laura Ingraham, and he was saying that young women need to forget about careers and they need to get married and have kids. The next day he was gone. Oh, and by the way, before I show you the cards that I'm getting about this whole trying to arrest or get people in trouble if they say his name or anything about him. Earlier on Off the Ledge, I said, I'm going to have to march myself back down to the mayor's office because the flags were at half staff again. Not the one outside my window, interestingly enough. But I get around. And so I had to go and check. And what I found out was that the flags were at half staff in Massachusetts today for prisoners of war and veterans, I believe. So that was good. Where's Susie Wilds and all that is happening? I'm not sure. I get that she's horrified. That's what I pick up. Thank you, Marby. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. So the CK thing, the whole, trying to keep people from saying anything about him. This is a gaslight card. This is a 7 of Cups. It's a gaslight and a distraction. It's a gaslight and a distraction. Yeah, they're trying to do a magic trick. They're trying to make things disappear, just like they're trying to make January 6, 2021 disappear. That's what this is. And the 9 of Pentacles. Interesting, I had the 9 of Cups before. I'm asking why they're making it taboo to talk about CK. Thomas dumped his remaining Disney shares. Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll read on that too. We'll read on how those corporations are doing. Don't they know they need us to spend our money on them? Flags are at half-mast in Pennsylvania for the 3 policemen killed. Yeah, tragic. Tragic. I got a big banner today. I ordered a big banner from Flags for Good. I think that's the name of the company. And it says End Gun Violence. Big banner was on sale. As far as the whole, you're forbidden to talk about CK, which is what got Jimmy's show canceled. There's a lot of confusion around this, so I totally get the reason for that is to gaslight, pretend it never happened, there's nothing to see here, making things disappear, attempting to, and trying to keep people from getting too over the top about it. They're actually trying to stop the conversation about that assassination. They don't want anybody to talk about it. Angela's onto something. She's saying guilty conscience. Yeah. I hate that I have to censor myself because I grew up with free speech and I don't intend for that to change. AOC did not hold back from letting us know who CK really was today on the House floor. Yes, exactly. That's why, I'm not going to hesitate to tell you the last thing I heard from him, and it's got nothing to do, 2 separate issues. This is what I know that he stood for, and there was a horrific, unspeakable tragedy that never should have happened, and he was assassinated. It's interesting that they're assuming that if you say what he stood for, then you must be hating him, right? If you just state what this is what he stood for. That's what we do when people pass away. We look at what their lives stood for. That's normal. Yeah, guilty conscience. Right on. Angela said. So, Maria's okay. She's coming back. She's coming back. Keep sending Reiki. We heal each other here. Just so you all know, before I pull more cards, this thing that I do is a juggling act. And so I'm reading your comments, and just so you know, I'm just asking you to use a little bit of discretion. When the whole screed here becomes about advice about health issues, I get really distracted. So if we can minimize that, that would be great. It's really distracting. Can we just because on Monday night, Wednesday night, it turned into like a medical office with everybody giving advice. And I'm just trying to keep up with thoughts about the news. So thank you. And we're sending you healing vibes. It's okay to ask for healing vibes, but let's kind of limit that. And thank you for understanding. It's okay. You just asked Thomas how he's feeling. Just know, just when it gets to be too much, just if you can pull it back. That's what I mean. I'm going to pull 3 cards about the guy. Who's the guy that runs the FCC? They put all this in Project 2025. I think he helped to write Project 2025. Let me tell you about Project 2025. Well, first off, the mainstream media refused to cover it, and instead they bashed Biden for 4 years. I'm going to remind everybody there are videos available under the vids on my channel here. I made 22 videos, 15 minutes or more each. That was all the Biden-Harris achievements. But the whole time that campaign was going on, what did they talk about? Oh, Biden, oh, Biden, oh, Biden, oh, Biden, oh, he's too old, oh, he's too this, oh, he's too that. And he was working his ass off. Brendan Carr is the guy's name. If the mainstream media had talked about what they had planned in Project 2025, if they had done their damn job, we would not be where we are, even with faux news and all that. They just didn't want to cover it. They were more interested in talking about how Joe Biden, who saved this country for 4 years, was too old. Dad joke, just went to a wedding that was so emotional, even the cake was in tears. We love you, Thomas. 3 cards about that dude, the head of the FCC. Brendan Carr, got it. What's his fate? I'm so glad we have this time together. Remember Carol Burnett? You can watch reruns of Carol Burnett, by the way, and you look at these reruns. I'm just singing the song at the end. You look at those reruns and you're like, oh my God, what a different world we live in. The head of the FCC, I have the tarot card. Brendan Carr's got it coming to him. I feel his butt getting kicked. King of Swords, interesting. King of Swords comes up all the time. This is about corporate. I actually see a squabble between the head of the FCC and corporate. Interesting. And the Queen of Wands, this is Kamala. The conversation around women, women's rights, the woman who should have been in the White House by now, the conversation about that, and the conversation about what they're doing to our people that we love on TV is going to result in lawsuits. And Brendan Carr, I have the tarot card for him. I see a lot of swords out, metaphorically speaking. On guard, sword out, touche. You love the Carol Burnett show? Yeah, there's some real funny things in that show. Remember George Carlin and the 7 words you couldn't say on TV due to the FCC? Yeah. Ted Cruz said the FCC went too far. He did? So did Tucker Carlson. I was talking to Kathy Beal today because, there's so much going on. I need a debriefing once in a while. And I was reminding myself, and I reminded her that right after November 5th, 2024, when we were all freaked out, we made sense that we were freaked out. My guide said, the rest of America needs to wake up. Tucker Carlson expressed that he's upset about they're trying to take away free speech. Candace Owen is upset. I think there are others that are kind of, in the limelight that are upset. Warren saying the U.S. attorney being pressured to indict Letitia James has resigned. Yes. Tower card. I'm feeling for the head of the FCC. Put that in quotes. It's tower card. Tower card. I see litigation. Let's ask this. I'm using these tonight because my pendulums keep running away. It would help if I cleared the table. Remember these? So for me, not crossing means yes, and crossing means no. Okay, so we're going to ask if that Brendan Carr will face legal consequences for what he's done. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. All right. Rose, you don't have to send me something to keep my pendulums in. I've got tons of things. Look, I've got this. I've got this other little dish here. I've got all kinds of things to put my pendulums in. That's not the problem. I'm a creative person. I like all things scattered all around me. But thank you. Oh, let me just pause to let you know that the psychic party is on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, after Church of Spirituality. And there's a lot going on Sunday, and it'd be good if we're together. 3 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for asking. So it looks like Carr is going to face litigation. I'm going to pull 3 cards about turning point and what's going to happen. But actually, I'm not going to use these cards for that. I'm going to use a different deck for that. I think I want to use, hang on. I'm going to use a Voyager Tower. And I'm going to ask what's going to happen to turning point. Everyone, you're all going to get your paper clips going on? Paper clips. I'm going to remind you all. Yes, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I only talk Eastern time. It's too confusing otherwise. Just know that. It's easier to communicate that way. Okay, 3 cards about turning point. So what I've heard is his wife's name Erica? I don't know if anybody saw what came out right after his passing, with her with the casket that was open. I'd never seen anything like that. Yeah, it was very strange. And I think if you're a widow, I think most people would just be grieving, right? Erica, yeah. Okay. 3 cards about what happens with turning point. So what I read was that she's taking it over. And it's a turning point big memorial service. Yes, the psychic party is on the solar eclipse day, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So Church of Spirituality 1 to 2, little break, and we'll do the party. It's a fall equinox party too. Lots of things going on. We'll do some ritual and some meditation. Get your pumpkins and apples out. So, okay, this is interesting because the 7 of crystals in this Voyager deck, I'm asking what's going to happen to CK's organization. It's going to lose its luster. Now, let me just tell you, since I do mediumship, I do kind of feel his energy on the other side. And it's a uniting energy. It's not a dividing energy, which would make sense if somebody's on the other side and they've gone to heaven and all that, right? But I do feel his energy on the other side, and I'm reading on his organization, and the 7 of crystals is, this is like the 7 of cups, but the word is dullness, so it kind of loses its appeal. It's like people don't know what to think. Man of cups, Yes, he'll be celebrated. And I actually, believe it or not, I kind of feel things calming down around Turning Point, which would actually make sense. Yeah, it would actually make sense. I'm a little surprised to see that, but it seems like that organization is gonna. I mean, dullness means it's gonna kind of lose its luster. They don't have their guy anymore. But I'm not getting so much like vitriol, and I'm not getting so much like divisiveness. And, we didn't agree with his views, but he was scheduled to debate Adam Mockler, right? So I'm kind of feeling like the what Dumpy does, where he's like, incites all the MAGA rage and everything. I feel like that's gonna wear off. The appeal of that being rageful and angry is going to wear off in Turning Point. That's what I see. And I get that that's what Charlie would want. Just tuning into his energy. We have a dad joke. It left. I was puzzled as to why I couldn't put on my seatbelt. Then it clicked. Did you make that one up in your head? Okay. Let's choose 3 cards about Kamala. So it's becoming clearer to me. It does seem like they've really beefed up security. This is just my sense. I haven't heard anything. My sense now, as it's become clearer as the time gets closer, that the book tour will happen. And she's going to be under heavy, heavy duty security. Not from the White House. Dumpy is formulating a Turning Point school curriculum. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So, what did one eyeball say to the other? Between you and me, something smells. Funny. Kamala's book tour. I have a fortune card. Kamala's going to make a fortune on her book. Wait, let's ask this. Hang on. Is Dumpy going to try to ban her book? Is Dumpy going to try to ban Kamala's book? I'm not saying he would succeed, but what I'm asking is Dumpy going to try to ban Kamala's book? It looks like yes. I don't think it. Yeah, that's a yes. He's going to try to ban Kamala's book. Hang on. Will he succeed? Will he succeed in getting Kamala's book banned? He can't formulate a coherent sentence. That's true. Will he succeed in getting her book banned? No, he will not. Book bans are interesting because you can always find it somewhere. Oh, and here are the cards. As far as the book tour goes, I feel her being like in The Beast. I feel like she's in an armored car, big black car. She's in an armored car, and they shuffle her in safely. They make sure that they have metal detectors, and it's really high security, bomb sniffing dogs and all that. And I feel massive security, but I don't see it not happening. For a couple times that I read on it, I feel like it's more certain. So we have the Fortune, we have the Priestess. I'm reading on Kamala's book tour. And Compassion. Wow. Compassion. Banned book week is October 5th through the 11th. Is that when we're supposed to read all the banned books? I was telling Linda earlier, she popped on earlier, and I've mentioned it before. They just completed a brand new library where I live. Beautiful new library. They sort of renovated, added on, and so I guess we're defying the fascists. Anyway, this card says compassion. I'm reading on Kamala's book tour. It says compassion. We are starving for compassion. It's Fortune and High Priestess. Yeah, that's about the security. And somebody was saying that ex-soldiers have volunteered for her security. I feel like it's more than that. That's great. I feel like it's them and it's more than that. Someone in the Trump regime said they need to ban all of Stephen King's books. You know what Stephen King said? I heard him say this a long time ago. And I bet he'll do it. Stephen King actually said that he couldn't write a horror movie with a character as evil as Trump. I'm paraphrasing, but he couldn't even, he didn't think he could even come up with it. So interesting. Yeah, book tour. Yeah, I see the book tour, Daniel. I see it under heavy duty security. You thought California State Police is guiding her? I'm talking about on her tour. You heard that too? You heard when Stephen King said that? He said he could never write a character that evil. I like Stephen King a lot. I don't read his books. The Stand might be the longest book I ever read in my life, believe it or not. Let's go back to these cards. I'm going to read on RFK Jr. I did write my Substack, my most recent one. I got to show you all I'm thinking of it. My recent Substack is about what RFK Jr. is doing, and it's entitled, please go to my Substack. It's under Annette Substack, or it's under Grassroots of Democracy. And it says, we need to act now before it's too late, with a very sad picture of somebody from COVID. So please check that out. I'll repost it too. And share. We need to take action now. I have heard that in the Northeast, states are banding together and creating their own health system, public health system. That's what we have to do. You love the book The Stand? Yeah. I remember reading it on the beach when I was a beach bum. In Kamala's book, she said that J.D. Vance is juvenile and shifty. Is that what you're saying? Shifty? We'll read on him. We'll read on JD. Trying to pick which next nefarious character to read on. We're going to read on Kimmel also. Okay. Let's read on RFK Jr. Let's look at what his fate is. Boy, I mean, I really am. I have a list of terrible people I could read on, like Kash Patel. I think he's done with that job. Keep praying for our protection, because we're really not protected. RFK Jr. Daniel saying, Salem's Lot terrified you. I know. I heard that. I would not read a book like that. And I heard it was terrifying. I remember when the movie came out. Like one of my sisters was like, I couldn't stop thinking about that movie. I couldn't sleep for a week. Why do people scare themselves like that? Australia's in the house. Yay, Australia. Thanks for popping in, Irina. I know you pop in frequently. We appreciate it. Irina. Say hi to your Aussie friends. I had a very dear friend. He's on the other side now. His name was Brenton Roberts, who's I've mentioned him before. Really gifted singer-songwriter, quite a character. I love him. He's still with us on the other side. RFK Jr. The Eight of Cups he's going to regret the things that he's done. The Knight of Swords is justice coming in. The Queen of Wands, the woman that he got fired from the CDC. I didn't write her name down. That's going to come back to bite him in the ass. Please hit the thumbs up. People are dying for a group hug. I think RFK Jr. is no match for this woman that he tried to fire, that he did fire from the CDC. They basically want to kill us. I mean, that's just what I'm just saying. You prevent people from getting vaccines. That's what else do you call that? He's inviting a pandemic. He's just inviting it. So please read my article. Yeah, it looks like he's going. So while we're here, I mean, it's basically nefarious card night. Let's read on. I was just about to say, let's read on Kash Patel, and then this flipped over. It's the death card. That means an ending. It means an ending. Sometimes the cards just pick themselves. You read The Exorcist, Darren? Oh my gosh, you are brave. You are brave. I would not be able to read that. Kash Patel. Oh yeah, Kash Patel not doing well. The death card is things coming to an end. The Nine of Swords is he's tossing and turning awake at night because of what he's worried people might know. And the Page of Wands. Whistleblowers about Kash Patel. Whistleblowers about Kash Patel. You have been praying for RFK to hit him from heaven. That's how desperate you are. I kind of channeled JFK one time. I think you guys have heard me say this before. And his uncle, John F. Kennedy, said that RFK Jr. is really mentally ill. And he said it runs in the family. What other horrible person can we read on? It's funny because I want to pull 3 cards about Nancy Mace, but even saying her name and knowing how she behaves, I don't. I'll just pull 1 card about Nancy Mace. The woman is so hateful. You want me to read on Pam Blondie? Nancy Mace is just trying to stay in the family. What's her fate? She's so awful to people. It's just it's like it's bottom of the barrel, scummy, awful how she treats people. The entire administration is mentally ill. Yeah, we talked about that last night at our guided meditation time before we meditated. Well, it doesn't look easy for Nancy Mace. 5 of Swords. She's facing a lot of attacks. I mean, not physical attacks. I mean, just people coming at her for being so hateful. 6 of Swords. Yeah, that's the Titanic. I don't think things are going to go well for her. She wants to stay in the family, but I don't feel like the family, the family. I don't think they're really supportive of her because once you start becoming unpopular, they need these MAGA people that are in Congress to be popular with the MAGAs. And I don't feel like that she is. She's running for governor in South Carolina, not happening. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see anything good coming for her. What goes around comes around, right? That's just the way it is. And if you think that Donald Trump is happy, did you all see the Bitcoin's gold statue in front of the Capitol? That wasn't even meant to be a joke. Let's read on the Bitcoin stuff. Was the movie The Omen the one with the fog? I don't know, because I don't... You might think I would watch scary movies, but I can't. Yeah, Nancy Mace is nasty and mean. Yeah, wow. Do you know that it's almost been an hour? Total time warp. Total time warp. Michael's gonna bake something. You're gonna bake some pot? Thank you for sharing. Damon's saying, no, that's The Fog. There's a movie called The Fog. It's an old one. Okay. I don't know what to read on. I'm overwhelmed with nasty people to read on. Let's do this. Let's take a break from the nasty people. Let's read on Jimmy Kimmel. I can hear his audience going, yeah, right? I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is like, his audiences love him. Michael's going to vape. Thanks for letting us know. I don't know what's going on in my neighborhood, but it's been kind of a routine now to smell weed coming in the window. Pretty heavy duty. Damon, you want me to read on you? You should book a reading, dude. We've known each other a long time in the chat. Electric Storm is saying, I want Jimmy to win that lawsuit against ABC and Disney. And the initial feeling that I got about all that was that he was going to sue and he was going to win. That's what I picked up. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But let's pull some cards. What's going to happen with the Jimmy Kimmel thing? I mean, I really do feel like they're awakening, these heinous human beings are awakening a sleeping giant. Yeah, Kimmel's a nice guy, and we love Guillermo. What's going to happen to Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, actually, like, it's the same thing that happened to Stephen Colbert. He got lifted higher. Yeah, and he's only been suspended. We'll ask the rods here if he's going to be unsuspended. Inventor. Player, playing. Comedy is playful. And compassion. What's happening is, you know, like, it's not what Dumpy wants. It's not what the horrible people want. It's not what Stephen Miller wants. It's not what Tom Homan and Kristi Noem want. It's not what these people want. But the compassion is through the roof. The American people's compassion. Our hearts are being busted open. And that's how the love gets in. So I'm reading about Jimmy Kimmel, and I see like children playing. I mean, the playful spirit. And the inventor. He's going to invent a new way. The compassion that's being stirred up in us really has needed to be stirred up for a very long time. So let's ask the rods. Is Disney going to reconsider and reinstate Kimmel's show? No. These things go kind of crazy. But I don't get that Disney's going to reinstate his show. I get a no in that. Is he going to have a different show somewhere else? He's going to have a different show somewhere else. He's going to have a different show somewhere else. Okay, we're not hitting the 200 thumbs up mark, and we're past an hour. So I'm so sorry. You must help me to get more popular. But what I'll do, you're talking about Kamala? She probably has private bodyguards. I actually feel like Kamala is very heavily connected to security. She was a prosecutor. She's a gun carrying woman because she needs to keep herself safe. Let's have Jimmy Kimmel doing The Apprentice. Oh my God. I bet his writers would have a field day with that. Yeah, wow. I'm wondering, like, it looks like Jimmy Kimmel's going to go to another platform. None of these people really have shut up, right? None of them have shut up. They've just gone to a different way of communicating. Once you feel betrayed, that's it. Yeah, for Kimmel. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Is Jimmy Kimmel going to go to Midas Touch? Because they invited him to come on Midas Touch. They've got 6 million subscribers. I think he's going to accept. I think he's going to accept. Now, here's the thing. I know we're going a little over, but that's to give us an opportunity to have 200 thumbs up. I don't think we're going to get there. I think this is backfiring on Dumpy and all his minions. Trump postponed the inflation report. Yeah. I think it's just going to backfire. This is the United States of America. We were founded on freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to be whoever you want to be. And they've been trying to shut us down for forever because that's what evil does. Oh, Lisa said we have 191. Should I stay? Thumbs up. We're going to do a group hug. Okay, people are talking about death threats. I'm going to talk about this again. Everybody who loves our country, everybody who loves democracy, and who happens to have a platform is getting death threats, bar none. Okay? So this is the world that this is the country we're in right now, and we're changing it. So if they're sending out a pro-democracy message, they're getting death threats. If they have a platform and they're sending out a pro-democracy message, they're getting death threats. This is Russia, right? This is what's going on. So I'm kind of surprised that people are saying, oh, they must be getting death threats. That's a given, right? That's a given. That's just where we are. Let's pull 3 cards for the weekend. I'll do a pop-up at some point. I'm pretty busy this weekend. And the members only psychic party is Sunday at 3, which is after Church of Spirituality at 1, which is after there's a rally here. So busy, busy, busy. Going to a reunion tomorrow night after a full day of working in Salem. And there's a rally in Salem tomorrow. So I'll probably do that first. I'm going to pull 3 cards out of the Rider-Waite deck. And I just, before we, did we get to 200 thumbs up yet? Before we continue and I pull these 3 cards, I just want to say something And you guys are so great about this. But I just kind of want to recap a little bit the very kind of loose rules for the chat and all that. I strive really, really hard to keep this channel to feel like a safe space for people that come here. We're traumatized enough. I had to delete a comment yesterday about somebody who came here from a country that had been under a dictatorship. And they said, that's what's going to happen to the United States. I'm not being all Pollyanna about it. I know what's going on. Believe me, all day, every day. We only need one more thumbs up. Great. We'll get there. But I want this channel to always be a safe place where you feel like you can come and you're not going to see people writing scary things in the comments. Because it's really, really important that we keep our minds stoked with we are going to make it through this. And we are going to be more amazing than we've ever been. Screw Make America Great Again. We are going to make America democracy again. MADA, because we're mad as hell. And we just reached 200. So let me pull the cards first to guide us through the weekend. Pray for people's protection. We shall overcome. I mean, when you look at the suffragette movement, what those women went through, when you look at the civil rights movement, what those people went through, people died fighting for their rights. What we were founded on, the Revolutionary War, Civil War, people have died fighting for our rights. Group hug coming after I show you the Justice card. Justice is coming. The Knight of Swords is my prosecutor card. Don't ask me when, or I'll go ballistic. But I'll tell you something that's really true, that I have a really strong feeling of a huge shift for the better coming. That's why I don't want people putting negative, discouraging thoughts in the chat. We make an effort. Justice is coming. I think those were the words that it was perceived that Kamala was mouthing on the way to the inauguration in January. And the King of Wands, that's strong communication from the Democrats. And the Knight of Swords is a prosecute. It's somebody coming in to prosecute. One last dad joke. Did you hear that Thailand is creating a line of luxury cruise ships? The first ship is going to be called the Titanic. Did you hear me talking about the documentary about the Titanic? Go to the National Geographic channel and look it up. Right? I told Warren about it. And while you're at it, make sure you watch the making of Jaws, the movie. Today, this year is 50 years since the making of that movie. It's pretty amazing. Group hug. We're going to do a group hug. In our group hug, we're going to visualize all the people in America feeling compassion and kindness and love. Love is the answer. We all start to get it. And all those who are being threatened, that they're safe and that they don't have to deal with that for much longer. And all those who are suffering, let's think about shutting ICE down. And we're hugging anyone who's struggling. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Feel the hug. Feel protective energy over all the people that are marching. And feel us saving our democracy. Feel it. And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. All you need is love, right? It means the world to me that you're here. I'm here every day. I do Off the Ledge every day. Please watch Off the Ledge. I don't have very many views on Off the Ledge, comparatively. And it's really good stuff. And Do the meditation from last night or any of the meditations from Thursday nights. They're under the lives. I'll see you soon. Book a session, psychicconnectdion.com. Namaste. You know where I'll be. See you in the near future. Bye.